Hello guys, how are you? Hope you are well. So today we are going to learn packet flow in Palo Alto Firewall. So I was giving an interview and once the interviewer asked one or two basic questions, then he immediately asked me that do you know the packet flow in Palo Alto firewall, that if a packet enters inside the firewall, then based on which criterias the packet is inspected and it is allowed to go out of the firewall. So in short, I want to say that this is quite important topic and not in fact only in Palo Alto firewall. If you give interview of any of the other firewall as well, then this question is asked that how the packet is traveling inside our firewall. So packet flow is a very important thing. So today's session will be basically our theoretical session. We will not be doing any lab for that because that is not required at all. We will be focusing only on the one screenshot we are having. Let me clear this screen. I'm having one screenshot here, not in fact screenshot, that an image. So we will be discussing this in the detail. So let it zoom it a bit. Perfect. So this is basically we are receiving any of the packet like this. The packet is received in any of its interface, and once it is entering the interface of the firewall, then what it is doing, it is extracting its L2, L3 and L4 information. Means that it is checking that what are the frame size, right? So if there is like a frame is destined for the interface of the firewall, or if not, this is the firewall, the packet is just here, right? It has to be passed to this direction, but it is just enter the interface of the firewall. So here it is checking that whether this frame is destined for this firewall or it is not, or if it is not having any error in the frame, right? So based on this, if there is an error on that frame, then it will discard it, or if it is not intended for the interface of this firewall, then also it is going to be discarded. Same thing is for that L3 information, like if it is a malicious IP packet, like it is for the ping of death, right? We are having a security mechanism for that. Ping of death is basically like our DOS attack, denial of services. So if our firewall find out that this packet is basically part of our denial of services, then also it is going to drop it. It is not process it further. It can be the case that our IP packet is having the protocol number 0. So whatever I'm talking about, these things are basically fields of our IP packet. If you look onto the headers of the IP packet, these values are there, right? So if the IP protocol number is 0, so basically whatever the errors are happening on the L3 level, based on those it will discard the packet. And same thing is going to for the L4, like this is TCP truncated, or it is having 0 port number. So based on these information means that we are having criteria for L2, L3 and L4. If they are having a frame check sequence error, like a frame has been corrupted, then also it is being dropped at the interface. It is not going to be processed further. It has been dropped at this level only, not going to be processing further. All right. So once if all these L2, L3 and L4 information are fulfilled, now it is checking the zone lookups, like which of the interface is the ingress interface and on which zone is that interface, right? So based on that one, it will just check it. One more part is important, that is our IP fragmentation. these checks are passed, our IP packet is genuine. But if anyhow we find out that this IP was fragmented is basically we break the IP packets, right? So if it was broken part of the IP packet and it is reaching here, and as a part of the mechanism, normally these are buffered at this interface. These are buffered and buffered. But if anyhow this buffer is full and our firewall cannot hold it further, so in that case also this packet is being dropped. It will not process it further. All right. If all these requirements are fulfilled, then the packet is going further. Means that if any of this ingress error it was having, whatever we just discussed, then it will just simply discard the packet. It is not going to be processing further. If there is no error, all checks are passed and everything is all right, then it is going for the next mode. It is checking that whether it is not inspecting any sensitive information. Means that some of the cases we bypass the firewall decryption rules, like we are having any sensitive information traveling, like for any banking website or any other confidential information is traveling, but we trust the sender and the receiver that nothing malicious is happening or it might not happen, only for the trusted cases. So we define some rules that in that case our firewall should not inspect that traffic through our firewall. So if there is a rule for that one and it is not required to inspect, it will bypass all the checks and it will simply pass on to the bottom. If you go at the bottom, you see that it is going to the packet forwarding, any egress interface it is traveling to. But if that is not the case and we have to inspect that traffic, then it is reaching to the IPsec and SSL VPN tunnel packet. Means that whenever it is reaching further, or these all checks are happening on the interface only, right? Means that we are having this firewall at the ingress level only, these decisions are taken. So it at the interface level, it is checking that whatever the packet it is received, it is matching to any of the tunnel. Means that any IPsec tunnel we have set up, and based on those tunnels only, or this packet is belonging to that tunnel, then it is going to decrypt it. We are having a set up a rule for the that tunnel decryption. It will send to that decryption part and again it will do the same processing. Means that if it is part of the decryption, it will go and pass the same procedure whatever we have to do it once again. So now again the packet will pass through this one. Once it is passed these checks, now it's turn to check two things: whether the packet is having a session. Means that this packet is traveling first time, means inside our firewall, or it has been traveling. Means that it is checks the firewall session lookup. So do we have the session in our firewall? Means whenever any of the traffic is traveling, so it is normally maintaining the sessions that I am passing this traffic, right? For some time, this hold on that information, our firewall hold on that information with it, that we are passing this traffic. So that information is set up in the firewall. If it is having, like we are having a session ongoing, then it is not checking that further. Now the question comes that how the firewall comes to know that if there is a session or not, right? Or let us suppose you are analyzer, you are inspecting the traffic. How will you come to know that this packet is traveling first time to the firewall, or getting inside the firewall first time, or already it was having a session? So for that one, The first thing is that one, we have to check the flag of the IP header. You know the flag? You don't know? Okay. So these are the basically sin, right? You need know this name, right? Sin, ek, push, right? And we are having reset, RST as well, urgent, such type of the flags we are having in the IP packet. So if the SYN bit is set, you know, right? TCP three-way handshake. So in case of the TCP three-way handshake, what happens that the client request to the server, let's suppose this is our client, this is our server. So it just send the SYN bit set as 1. So it means that we are trying to set up a connection. So whenever the packet is entering through our firewall, and if like a SYN bit is 1, it means that it is a new connection. It doesn't have any sessions inside it, and we are trying to make a new connection for that one. And if it is not SYN bit set, then obviously we can assume that this is like not a new packet, we already having a session for that one. In that case, normally our push or other fields will be there, not the SYN bit. So let us suppose it is a new packet, means that we are entering the first time. So whenever if it is the entering the first time, so it will take the slow path. You see that these are two paths: forward firewall, fast path, firewall, slow path. So if it is a session already set up, then it is going to take a fast path. If it is the new packet or we don't have the session for that packet, then it is going to take the slow path, means our packet has been forwarded to this direction, our slow path. Now what things it is going to be checking on the slow path? Let's have a look on these. Let me make another color. Oh, let me say remove it. It is quite large. All right. So in the our forwarding lookup, what it does is checks the egress interface. Just mind these words, it gets the lookup only, right? Get egress interface zone basis from the L3 route and L2 FDB lookup. It is not forwarding the traffic right now, but it is just checking that what is the egress interface of this packet. All right. Once it is be observed or checked, then it is checking the NAT policy, that are we doing any NAT? NAT means network address translation, that are our IP addresses are being translated. Either it can be our source IP address or it can be destination IP address. So if any of the IP address is going to be translated, then we have to check. We will take the decisions, we will translate those IP address and forward it further, right? So means that we done the NAT lookup before the firewall policy security lookup. This is very important questions and always ask the interview that what happens first, either it is NAT first or the security policy first. So here you have to be clear that we are making the NAT first and then we are going for the security policy lookup. All right. So in the security policy lookup, it will check the rules that we are having this IP address to that destination IP address. allowed or not. If it is not matching any of the specified rules, then do we have the default rule, means that we are allowing the communication to the same zone, or it is going to the different zones. If it is not matching any of them, then obviously the traffic will be denied based on the default rule to one zone, from one zone to another zone. We are having the default rule that the communication is not allowed, it will be matching here. If by chance that the traffic is allowed, then it will be processing further. So obviously it's just rule match with the action allow. If it is no match, then it is going to discard the packet. And if it is having a match, and that session, it means that the traffic is allowed, then it will create and install a session for that one, right? It will set up a session. So once the session is set up, now we are back to the same phase where we started, right? We are here. And that's how we are on the fast path, correct? So let me stop here, because this is going to be a very large session, and I don't want to make it quite large. So meanwhile, you have come to know that how the new session is going to be installed. And once we have the session, then what is going to happen, I am going to get it on the next part. So it is really inconvenient for you guys to watch a longer time. I understand that you guys are so busy. So in order to do that one, I have broken it in the second part, and we will continue in the second part. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, whatever till now we have covered, uh, just write in the comment section. I will reach out to you guys. All right. So let's see. If you want to continue, then please come to the next session. I will be covering on then the part 2. All right.